You guys caught me sleeping on the job. I forgot a piece of equipment. Hello everybody, Jason Meyer here. Welcome to Masterworks. Good evening, Susan. Tonight we're going to look at an artist named Len Chmiel. He's a living artist. Frequently participates in the Gene Autry Museum in Los Angeles in their Masters of the American West show. But I thought we would do something slightly different. If you were able to catch in the morning feedback this morning, we talked about color runs, and that was an extension of Monday's lesson of the mixing the color strings. So I think what we'll do is we're going to just look at some photos of Len Chmiel here, and then after that we'll stick him in the Procreate and see what his color runs look like, how drastic they are, and if they draw you to the same part of the canvas no matter how we spin the canvas. Does that sound like fun to you guys? Sounds like fun to me. Hey Katie, good to see you. Good to see you. All right, and Wendy's here too. Good, good, good. So I know some of us here in California are having some storms or without power, so we're missing a few of our friends, but hopefully they can catch up with us later. So for now, let's share our screen and have a look. As always, why don't we just go through these and you have a chance of taking them in. We'll sit with them for a minute or so, and then we'll cycle through. And after we go through all of them, we're going to back out and go to the Procreate and dig under the hood a little bit. How did he do this? How did he do this? If I wanted to do this, how would I do this? Sounds like fun? So really incredible pieces here. And I almost forgot. There's Mr. Len Chmiel himself at I believe this is at the Gene Autry, 2016 maybe. And so there's get a sense of the size and the scope. And when you pull back, you still get that sense of light. All right, so there's one. And here's another one. One of the reasons I picked Len Chmiel, I might have done a show on him before, but I wanted to pick him and pick several paintings because it's seemingly such a wide variety. How can you handle so much? Right? And is he really handling so much? Or is he doing the same thing? We will investigate. We will investigate. Miss Shakti made it. Hello, Shakti. We're looking at Len Chmiel tonight. And we're going to look at some color runs. So here's a high key. Like I said, one of the reasons I wanted to do this with Len Chmiel is because he has such a variety. Such a variety. Okay, and then the last one, again, I wanted to get one more in there. All kinds of moods and so what do you guys think of Len? He's nice and colorful. He's a really incredible artist. You guys have been taking pictures of your work and sending them in for a little while now, so you realize the challenges in getting a good picture of your oil painting. But so however you think they look here, we can times those by 12 or something. Much, much stronger. So what do you guys say we back off a little bit And what we're going to do is we're going to go to the Procreate. And in the Procreate, what I can do is I can take my little tool and I can sample, say, this green. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to simplify all of this into that simple green. And then we'll take this little color there and simplify. And then our next green. And as we get these changes, what we want to see is how these change from top to bottom. How does the green change from here to here to here to, is that green? To here to here. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hey, who's got the rule book? Who's got the rule book? Is it fair? Can you paint green with red paint? I'm asking for a friend. Asking for a friend. Can you do that? Did he literally turn his green from green to red? Huh. Huh. Interesting. And then from this side of the canvas, right, top to bottom, we've got these greens. And then if we go, that's green. And those are, how does those greens differ from these? And by the way, exactly how did we get here? How did we, that's a big rock. And that rock's got to start somewhere. Where does it start? Well, that color doesn't look like that color. And, wait, and we're going through another color? And another color? And another color? Is that a color run? Is that a color movement? So we're going to investigate that. How does the rock and sun here differ from the rock and sun back here? Are those basically the same color and value? No. No, no, no. All right, so everybody see what we're up to? And if you guys missed it, I thought this morning's morning jump start, basically on the same subject, was quite enlightening. I was really happy with that, so if you guys want to give any feedback for that, I'd love to hear it. So how about a little do-si-do? Hello, hello. And we're up and running. Okay, so as promised, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take our little sample tool. Let's just start with this green. And again, there's a lot of variety here, but I'm just going to simplify. Let's simplify. And even from this side, well, let's just do one thing at a time. Let's do one thing at a time. I know, it's so exciting. It's so exciting. It's easy to get lost. So he's got a few little dark greens up here. I don't know if you noticed that. Before it hits a light green. Oh, is that light green? That certainly doesn't look light green. And then I'd like to know who this guy thinks he is. Look, I mean, just who does he think he is? He's obviously got green trees here. And then he just straight up turns them orange. He just turns those trees orange. No respect. No respect. Oh my gosh. All right, this okay? I hope this isn't too tedious for you guys. But it's stick with me here. I think you're going to find it pretty enlightening. Okay, and then just for reference, let's hit the sky right there. So what we're going to do is we've gone from bottom to top. Now let's go in here and take the painting away. And now on a gray background, this is what that looks like. Now remember, every color on here, except for that top sky color, well, and there's one other. This color represents that sand down there, not the trees. But we've got green tree, green tree, green tree, green tree, green tree. Yep, green tree. Green, 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 green. Did you guys know that you could paint green like that? You ever considered painting green like that before? Yeah, don't feel bad. Me neither. Me neither. So do you see that? Pretty crazy, huh? So let's go back. Let's go back now. And let's take that off. And now let's run around this other side. So we're going to go towards the bottom here. Let's start here at the bottom. And what we do, so we got some dark here. So we'll let this be dark. We'll just call this one dark. We're just going to average this out. Okay. And so let's just see how this green walks around the bottom of the canvas. Oops. Okay, so it's going into shadow here. It's going into shadow. So, right, those are trees in shadow. Look at that green. Okay, and I'm gonna, this looks, I feel like there's a little green right there. Let's see what that green is too. Do you guys see that? Is that kind of crazy? That just abstractly how he's moving your eye from one place to the other. And so these spots aren't even, right? We're drawn to a particular place. Right? And we're going, but if you guys remember in the painting, there's a big, that's where we're looking. And so what we're trying to do now, or what I'm teaching right now, is just to get everybody to, let's move the eye to one place. Right? But just like nature, as you get better at this, right, you can have some different movements through there. So let's talk about some movements now that we've pulled back the curtain a little bit. So obviously, right, we could probably say that's easily the most. So let's follow that a little bit. You see how it goes off, then there's a little bit most up here. Little bits of it there. Tick, tick. Does that look organized to you? Well, yeah. Do you guys see that? And you notice how each shape is a different size? Right? So, in one way, just the simple abstract shapes and sizes jumping across here is masterful. But that's a single aspect of this painting. Right? Again, just to remind everybody what we're looking at there, kind of the highlight of the rock. And so one thing we could think about is what happens to the rock as it falls off. Look, he's almost done it backwards, hasn't he? Darker, richer. You see it gets darker, richer. And then what happens as we go this way? Yellow ochre, almost kind of green. A red purple, a blue purple, a little bluer. Do you guys... So these color runs are what's going to get you to your focal point. Because most of us by now are able to put down a good focal point. But we realize that's not enough for a painting, right? That it needs to be a little bit more. So I want to look at some other ones, but before I do, I want to do one more experiment with you. And let's look at let's investigate the sky. Let's investigate the sky. And again, I'm just going to big simplify into big pieces here. Just to see if we can see a certain movement in the sky. Okay. Do you guys realize there was that many different colors going on in the sky? That's the horizon on one end. And look what happens here. So this is what I was talking about just the other day, where you can have more and have more with a little less in between. See how that's got a little more color? This is a little duller grayer, and now we're pumping up the color again. Do you guys see that? And I think of that almost as a pumping action, which kind of pumps life into the thing. Almost, you know, like oh, what, I forget what they're called on the railways, push carts, seesaws, right? Pushing you through. And let's keep going. What happens? Well, we've got color here, and then we drop off, and then pick up again. Do you see that? Okay, I know that's pretty subtle there, but that's why this painting is in the show at the Gene Autry. Because none of that's haphazard there. There's so many orders and movements, and it's all so beautiful. And we didn't even talk about the moon hanging at the top of the painting. We didn't even get to talk about the moon. We were so infatuated. You guys were so infatuated with that green being red. Is that okay if I blame it on you guys? All right. Is this doing okay for you guys? All right, we won't take so long in here. But again, let's just see this movement abstractly. Let's go from right here, this green. And again, just big, simple. Then we're going to take a little break. Then we got our next tree. Going to take a little break. Tree. All the way. All the way. All right, shall we see what we got? Oh, Jason. Oh, why you got... I didn't level up. I didn't level up. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Let's do this again. Let's do this again. Come on, double time. Here we go. So bang. 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 All right. Hope you guys are patient enough to see this. It's really worth it. I don't know how good of TV it makes, but to start to become aware of a painting in these terms is a game changer. Right? Instead of being so worried about what you see in front of you, what's happening, this or that, you can start worrying about just moving the viewer's eye to where you'd like them to be. Okay, so, and then what we can do to help see this, because it's so hard to see when things are on white, look how much easier this is to see as we gray this off. Okay, so that's it. Well, anyway, we see a constant movement. All right, you see that movement? And remember, what we went through: green foliage, tree trunks, snow. This was a tree trunk. That's snow. That's green. I think that was a tree trunk. There's green. There's snow. There's tree. All through those objects, and not through that objects did they ever forget the rhythm. Again, maybe, just maybe, that's why he's hanging in the Autry. I don't know. We have to ask him. All right. Let's keep moving here. How are we doing on time? We're doing okay. But let's check it out here. Let's check it out one more time. So it really doesn't matter what key, what value, what colors. The game is the same. Right? Because the people are engaging in this how? Well, visually with their eyes. So you should be putting paint down, right? That will do something with their eyes. All right, we don't have to go full bore on that. Look how subtle that is. You see that? That's subtle. Subtle, 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 subtle. But make no mistake, where are you going to be between those two? It's a change. It's a change. It's a change. You guys see that? All right. Yeah, the subtlety is in keeping those values so close. Right? What do I mean by close? Well, what if I came up here and I came with just a dark, I wouldn't keep it warm, just basically a dark black, and if I put it, yeah. Look at that. Oh, that didn't take long to ruin that painting. So right, his darkest dark is pretty light. And then again, it just all makes sense. And in some ways, so simple too. Look, he's got green. And he's got red. And white. So it's kind of an abstract of a very, very neutral red. And a pretty neutral green at that. On variations of white. Can you guys, if you see that like that, can you see how this is in some ways very, very simple? Red, green, and white. What's the big deal? Make something beautiful out of it. But I'm going to venture that until I said that you never once thought about this painting as red, green, and white. Because it's hidden under so much. Hidden. I love it. I love it too. All right. How about one more? We got one more loaded up in here. So I guess we're not going to do that green landscape. That's all right. We're running out of time anyway. But what do you say we take a look at? What should we take a look at? Lily pads and water? Lily pads and water? All right. We start down here. Just see where this purple goes. I know I'm a bull in a china closet here, but in order to be careful, that's what takes some time. It's a half-hour show, so we don't got that much time. There's too much to talk about. There's too much beauty to see. We're running out of time. So we just keep plugging along. All right, let's take a look at that. Again, it's hard to see against white. But look, as I change this background, it becomes more obvious what's happening. So that's going from darker, richer at the bottom to lighter, grayer at the top, isn't it? And I know, subtle, 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 subtle. But that's what's happening. That's what's happening. So, what's going on with these lily pads? Looks like we got something like that. And it looks like we might take a break. And then it looks like we jump up to here. And then from here, Oops, here we go. All right, let's just see that right there. So it's the same thing that we've been doing in class. It's just the level of subtlety, right? You remember when I said, when I'm talking grays or value separation or measures, sometimes you think, oh, okay, I just did 2 shovelfuls, and it's like, oh, but I meant a pinch. I meant a pinch. Tom made it. Hey, Tom. So this is just that pinch. Just that little bitty pinch. Pinch. All right, guys. I think we'll probably leave it there. That's about a half hour. Why don't we come back and end the show just by scrolling through these paintings one more time? Let's just scroll through these paintings one more time. And I would love to know if this makes sense. If looking at color like this makes sense to you. Right? Who would have thought? It's exactly the same game. It all looks so different. All looks so different. All right. I can't help it. I thought I'd throw a few extras here at the end. One of the hardest things about this is editing down and just talking about a few. Yeah, you can do it in yellow too. You can do it in green, you can do it in yellow, you can do it in gray. Again, not only has he kept that constant value and color and chroma change, but look at the size of canvas he's done it over. He's done it over large swaths. For instance, why isn't this against that? Well, no, it's against this purple darker so that it pops. And then it's dark enough so that the water pops. So what do we have here? Do we have our white? Do we have our color? Do we have a gray? And do we have a dark? Let me ask that again. Number 1 value, white. Number 2 value, color. Number 3 value, gray. Number 4 value, dark. And look, he's brought them all together right there. And that happens to be a focal point. Coincidence? I don't know. You know? Are there aliens? Could you do a whole painting just moving color like this? I don't know. Could you? I think if your name is Len Chmiel, the answer is yeah. You can put basically a whole painting down of just abstract movement. Right? The river through the snow. Notice the nature of the river versus the nature of the snow. Very active versus passive. But the quantities are also very different. Anyway, it seems obvious, right? It seems obvious once you say it. But I would venture too, it's even more than you think. If you sat down with pen and paper and traced over this, would you be astounded to find out? Look how high you're on the canvas before you hit the first thing of Look how much of this canvas is like pure abstract. That's crazy. That's crazy. Okay, here we go. This is the last one. Can you guys see it? Do I have to show to you what's happening? You guys can see it, right? What's happening to this orange? What's happening to this green? This gray, warm gray, to cool gray, to darker gray. And then where are we looking? At our quote-unquote white. By the way, if you would ask me if you could paint a painting like this, I would say, no, that's not possible. So, that's the other thing that makes this so brilliant. But how much light, how much dark in this painting? What dominates? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. I could sit here and go on and on and on and just stare at these things, and I often do, but I'm more comfortable doing it not on camera. Not on camera. So I hope you guys had a good time. Beautiful thoughts. You're welcome, Susan. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thanks, Wendy. You guys are welcome. Welcome. It's funny, you know, the good art, sometimes you think that if you uncover the magic, there would be less pleasure in it, right? Less spark. But the good art, the more you know, kind of the more amazing it is. It's just so wonderful. Like, yes, wonderful, wonderful. You took the words right out of my mouth. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be back in the morning for some morning jump start. That'll be the last one of this week on YouTube. Then we'll have Friday, the last class of the session on Friday. And if you guys are interested, haven't signed up yet, we've got a new session starting Monday. And in the meantime, we'll have Sketch Club tomorrow night as well on Facebook. So thank you everybody for your attention, and Sharon and the Beauty, have a wonderful evening. See you guys soon. Bye bye.